Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to talk about the Argon8 a little bit more, and one thing I've discovered fairly recently is when you use wave mods and you use them on low frequency waves, you get a lot more dramatic response. So I wanted to demonstrate that. So this is just the init patch, but one of the things that happens when you start editing with the Argon8 is that you'll mess around with these basic waveforms, which are these are the virtual analog waveforms. They're cool, they're easy to use, they're great. But when you first go into using a waveform that looks like this, which has a lot more frequencies going on, like, I'm going to pick one right there. Let's say I like that tone and I want to build something off of that. So check this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold a note with that, and then I'm going to add in a wave modifier, and I'm going to do dres 1 just between off and dres 1 and see if you can hear the difference. So this is off, and that's what dres 1 turned on. Off, on. Okay, so let's take that same note. Well, it's going to be the same note on the keyboard, but I'm going to tune this wave down 2 octaves. So I'm just going to go in here and just turn this all the way down. So now that's the note. All right, so let me turn this. This is with it off, so I'm going to hold it. Okay. Now I'm going to turn dres 1 on. Now, can you hear the difference? Off, on. That's the whole point of this video, actually. I'm going to show you kind of what you can do with that, but if you've used Wavetable modifiers on an Argon8 and you have one, they're a really cool feature, but the one thing about them is when you apply them to low frequency waves, you can do even more, because you're starting off kind of establishing the fundamental, or even the sub in this case, and then you're building frequencies on top of it so they really jump out, and then you can shape that with a filter and do all sorts of stuff. So let's make an interesting bass. So let's start off with this guy, and then let's layer in something else, like a different tone. So let's go to the other wave. Right now it's just sitting at a sine wave, but let's go ahead and use I'm gonna go ahead and grab another, we'll use math. So let's go through. Let's use this guy. And let's tune him down 2 octaves. Okay. That sounded cool when I did that. Maybe I would, maybe I'll use that later and put a mod envelope on that, change the pitch. But anyway. So let's mix them. So here's both of them together. Maybe a little bit of that. Okay. And now let's add dres onto this wave as well. So let me hold this note. So there's dres 1, 2, which sounds cool now, and 3, which is really pronounced. I'm going to use 2 just because now you can use dres 1 and 2 to make interesting voices. So let's keep this guy. He's got plenty of frequencies to deal with. Let's put a filter on there. So what I'm going to do is let's bring the filter down halfway, and then let's add some shape on our filter. Just going to do kind of a little plucky thing here, a little bit of release, and then let's go ahead and add it like there. So we kind of get yeah, and then let's go ahead and put an ARP on this. So let's do something like that does, I don't know if that's going to sound good. Hold on. Yeah, that sounds all right. All right. And then let's bring this down lower. Yeah, that's actually, I kind of like getting the highs in there. Yeah, I like it there. Maybe it'll slow it down just slightly. Right, there we go. So now let's go ahead and let's play with some of these wavetable modifiers. So I'm not changing the wave. Well, I can show you what happens when you change the wave. Let me do that, because I kind of like it at the end here. We're getting kind of a little bit of a talking effect. That sounds cool. I like that one in there. That's a cool sounding. So let's think of that guy. I'm just going to mess with this because I kind of like that sound here. Add some spread. There we go. And now let's go ahead and add some width and some drift. There's kind of the modal sound. Let's add some phase modulation in here, see if we get a nice effect. That's up all the way. It's kind of interesting. I'll turn it back down. I'm gonna try distortion. A lot of times this is how I do that. I try an oscillator mod a little bit, and distortion. Yeah. I know I've said this in previous videos, but distortion is per voice, which is really cool. So that way, when you have something, you can really thicken it by adding just a little bit of distortion. So I really like the distortion on the Argon8. So let's play that again. Now let's try some different wave mods now that we have something going on. I'm just flicking through these. There's 32 of them, so I don't want to... Ooh, that was something cool. Shaper 3 was adding some. That's pretty cool. I'm going to pan to the other one just to get different. Ooh, listen to that. Yeah, nice. I like both of those, but I really like this one here. I'm gonna have that one be more dominant. Just get it right in there. Okay, let's add some effects and then we'll call it a wrap. So let me load up some effects here. Let's put some delay on here. Let's change the rate a little bit. That's too slow. Let's do 16s. That's really fast. But we can, let's mess around here. Let's do some less delay. So there we go. Let's add a little bit of chorus. And some reverb, although it's going to sound kind of smeary with this much stuff. It's kind of cool. Alright, let's mess a little around a little more. Let's change the filter. Let's try to put some resonance on here. I'm going to take the reverb off just because I like it. I think it sounds better when it's dry. Like that, yeah. I'm just playing around. All right, so I'm going to call the video there. Just recap real quick. when you're messing around with wave modifiers, try tuning your waves way down. Like just take them down 2 octaves and play around with them. Even if you're not making a bass, what it can do is you can start with that fundamental and you can add different frequencies. So all of a sudden you have a ton of different variations. Because one thing that's cool about the Argon8, even though it has kind of a fixed set of wavetables, the one thing is you can learn those wavetables. So instead of just having millions, this is like you have a tool set and you can choose them specifically, like for different tonalities. And then the wave mods on top of those can take them in a different direction. So it's really fun and cool to mess around with. So anyway, thank you very much and take it easy. Bye.